Goku finally appeared after his absence, his body now shining with an aura reflecting the power he had fully regained after emerging from the Super Dragon Balls. The friends stood astonished, unable to believe that the man they thought had died had returned. Goku stepped toward his friends, holding a silver Dragon Ball in his hand, which left everyone confused. Gohan raised his head in shock. "Father, where have you been all this time?" Goku did not answer immediately. Instead, he smiled and calmly raised the silver sphere toward Gohan. The moment he touched it, Gohan's hand felt warmth and renewed energy, and his severed arm returned to its normal state. He said in shock, "What is this power and comfort filling my body?" Goku replied in a calm voice, "I'm sorry for being late, but my delay was not in vain. I regained my original body and merged the pure power of the Dragon Balls with the pure spirit of my little son. As for the Super Dragon Balls, they have been reactivated, the curse has ended, and Zalama's spirit is now inside them without a body." Gohan said hesitantly, "Does that mean we can now make wishes? Vegeta's mind has been controlled, and many innocent people have died." Goku replied, "Yes, we can make wishes, but not as you were used to. The Dragon Balls have now been reborn. They have regained the rules by which they were first created. Everything must be repaid as a debt. My goal now is to bring back the oppressed Zalama first, but in return, someone here must lose their life for him to return." The friends grew confused upon hearing that, and one of them said in a trembling voice, "And whose life are you planning to exchange for Zalama, Goku?" Goku did not answer, but looked upward toward the treacherous Mother of Angels. Then he whispered, "You will taste the justice you have never known, and I will not allow innocence to be destroyed." Vegeta broke the silence and smirked mockingly. "Where are you looking, Kakarot? Perhaps you still haven't understood your real opponent here." Goku replied calmly, "Vegeta, I know your mind is not free right now, and that makes you more dangerous than any opponent I've faced. But know this, any action from you will be met with a force you cannot withstand." Without any warning, Goku launched forward at incredible speed, passing by Vegeta and leaving a mark on his cheek due to the immense velocity. Even so, Vegeta smiled. At the same moment, Goku directly targeted the Mother of Angels with unexpected speed. She was his primary target. The Queen clenched her fist in a flash, but her punch was nothing compared to Goku's power. Goku caught her with one hand and looked at her with sharp eyes. "Have you ever thought, since millions of years ago, that someone would come and reveal your truth, you traitor? Your selfishness caused the death of my family. You and your sons who followed you will pay the price." The children of the angels, shattered by shock, watched the scene in disbelief. Some had lost the ability to breathe, while others could barely endure the pain of loss. Goku slowly raised his other hand, directing the energy straight toward the Queen's face, while gripping her other arm with a force that gave her no chance to escape. Shock was written across her face, helplessness and disbelief. Goku coldly said, "Let me clean your face a little now, because selfishness and malice have greatly defiled it." In an instant, Goku unleashed a devastating white energy blast directly into her face. The attack shook everything. Everyone stared in astonishment and silence, unable to comprehend the magnitude of Goku's new power. The Supreme Queen fell to her knees, blood and wounds completely disfiguring her face. But strangely, a cunning smile began to form on her lips, as if everything that had happened was expected. Goku stepped toward her, one step after another until he was only a meter away. Then he raised his hand to strike, saying, "It's time to finish you, and your sons will meet the same fate." She smiled and replied, "It may seem to you, Goku, that you are in the final stage of your mission, but you still have much to understand." Suddenly, without anyone noticing, a radiant energy shot forward at incredible speed toward Goku, and an energy sword struck him. The shock was overwhelming. It was Vegeta using one of his new techniques. Goku shouted angrily, "Vegeta, what are you doing? You need to understand your true direction." Vegeta mocked, "And is there anything better than defeating you, Kakarot? That has been my direction since our first meeting." At the same time, the Supreme Queen seized the opportunity, and her face returned to normal as if it had never been wounded. She lifted her head, her eyes glowing with a hidden light, and focused on the silver Super Dragon Balls. She whispered in a calm yet imposing voice, "I understand now. Zama is still inside these spheres, and Goku is planning to bring him out. But..." She raised her hand. The ring that had previously sealed the priest was directed toward the spheres. Then a strange smoke emerged, quickly spreading to the Dragon Balls and engulfing them in darkness. The atmosphere became suffocating, and the pure energy of the silver spheres turned into a deadly black darkness. Goku felt overwhelming rage and shouted powerfully, "Damn it! What was that?" She responded coldly while looking at the ring. "The priest's power is here. I sealed him here in the first place because part of the curse affected him after he was struck by the cursed Xeno. But sometimes things like this prove useful." One of the friends, shocked, shouted, "Impossible! That means the curse has infected the spheres again, and they can't be used." At that moment, Vegeta increased the pressure on Goku. The sword began to pierce his skin. Tense moments passed until Goku shouted, "Vegeta, if this is how you are with me, then no more holding back with you." Goku pressed hard against the sword while shouting in anger until the energy blade shattered into tiny particles in a single instant. Vegeta immediately attacked Goku with a strike that prevented him from intervening, and then it was too late. The Supreme Queen suddenly vanished without explanation to an unknown place. Goku blocked the attack. Then, Vegeta suddenly smiled, as if everything that had happened so far had been nothing more than a simple warm-up. "Well then, that was a good attempt, Kakarot. But what if we raise the level of the challenge? Let's make things more enjoyable." He slowly extended his hand and a new energy weapon formed, sharper, denser. Then he said, "This time, I'll let this weapon do its job while I properly enjoy fighting you." Goku did not respond. He turned for a moment toward his friends, and his eyes stopped specifically on Whis. Goku with clear sharpness, "Whis, gather all the Supreme Kais, use the sphere, purify the Super Dragon Balls until I finish." The words were not detailed, but they were enough for Whis to understand. In the next instant, Vegeta launched the weapon. It shot forward like a distorted flash. Goku moved immediately, and the weapon passed through where he had been only a fraction of a second earlier. But he was given no chance to steady himself. Vegeta charged directly. Their fists collided mid-air, and an immense shockwave exploded, shaking all of existence. The duel began. Rapid strikes, clashing energies, instantaneous movement from one point to another. And in the midst of this madness, the weapon moved on its own. It was not merely a projectile, but an entity that fought. It moved between them, cut across distances, and targeted Goku with terrifying precision. Goku dodged a strike from Vegeta, then bent to avoid being pierced by the weapon. One of the friends whispered in a trembling voice, "My God, this is madness. Goku's power has surpassed all our expectations. He's fighting Vegeta, who defeated the fusion of Gohan and Whis, and dodging that weapon at the same time." Suddenly, Vegeta stopped, and the weapon settled beside him. In that moment, Goku noticed something. The weapon did not harm Vegeta at all. Even when it passed close to his body, it did not touch him. Vegeta smiled, realizing that Goku had understood. "Let's double the speed, Kakarot." In a fraction of a moment, he sent the weapon toward Goku, but this time At multiplied speed, the weapon lunged straight toward Goku's head. Time slowed down. Then his body moved, and he vanished less than a fraction of a second before impact. He finally dodged the attack. But that was the moment Vegeta had been waiting for. He appeared right beside him and seized the opportunity. Goku fell, his body trembling from the force of the blows, but he slowly raised his head as Vegeta approached. Goku did not stand up. Instead, he spoke in a sharp voice, filled with emotion. "Vegeta, remember yourself before all this, before the control, before you allowed them to steal your heart. Have you forgotten who you were, who we are?" Vegeta paused for a moment, absorbing the words, but then he laughed coldly. "I'll know who I am once I erase you, Kakarot." Vegeta dropped the weapon, then suddenly pressed down on Goku. Goku resisted, but he knew what he was doing. Their friends around them were confused, Vegeta's wife and daughter unable to bear the sight of his cruelty. Gohan said, "It seems my father is hiding something. I feel like he's capable of ending this, but he's delaying." Vegeta increased the pressure, and Goku resisted with strength until he shouted, "Vegeta, have you forgotten what it means to be a prince, to protect those you love? Your father would never accept you being nothing more than a tool. Stop before you destroy everything that has value." At that moment, the weapon lifted away from Goku. Vegeta suddenly felt a sharp pain in his head. He stopped, clutching it, his eyes opening to the truth, something reminding him of the past. Goku understood that the memories of the past were still in Vegeta's mind. Then he continued, "Dominion won't save you, Vegeta, but the heart of family, the pride you inherited, it's still alive inside you. Remember well, and let's restore balance once again." Vegeta froze in place and spoke to himself. "Damn it, what is happening?" Then suddenly, the deadly weapon he had launched earlier pierced Vegeta's body from behind. The strike shocked everyone. Goku screamed and raised his hand, but he was stunned. Vegeta's transformation vanished, and the symbol that had represented his control disappeared. No one understood what had happened, except Goku. He realized that Vegeta had regained part of his awareness, which also made him vulnerable to the weapon that had been hovering in the area. After Vegeta fell, all the Supreme Kais arrived after receiving the call from Whis, ready to contribute to purifying the Dragon Balls whose essence had been completely corrupted. Goku stepped forward and said, "Listen to me carefully. Vegeta will be fine if you heal him with that sphere I gave you, Gohan. I never intended to harm him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used only 30% of my power against him." The others were shocked when they heard that Goku had merely been holding back and not fighting seriously. Then Goku continued, "You must purify the Super Dragon Balls. With that small sphere, I must end the Queen's life so that we can bring Zama back. Zalama's return is the foundation of restoring balance, and I will do the impossible to achieve that, even if I do not return alive." Everyone looked at him with worry, sadness, and fear. It was not just a mission, but a battle of life or death. They knew Goku was going somewhere no one had ever known, not even the children of the Mother of Angels. They did not know where their mother had gone. In a distant place, very far away, at the sacred palace, Goku finally arrived. The place was strange and quiet, yet filled with a dark and hidden energy. Goku stared at the massive gate. It was no ordinary gate. It seemed as if it were alive, pulsing. Goku stepped forward without hesitation and said, "Even on your own ground, you will fall. This place will witness my revenge." Goku entered the gate and disappeared into an unknown realm. At that very moment, the Supreme Kais used the small sphere, the one that contained the pure power of the Dragon Balls, combined with the spirit of Goku's newborn son, and began forming their ritual with precision. Pure energy started flowing through the sphere, gathering around the Super Dragon Balls to cleanse them of the cursed corruption that had infected them. The friends were watching Vegeta from a distance. He had been healed, but now no one dared approach him because of his intense anger. He said to himself, "Damn me, I will not forgive myself. I will not spare myself. I was nothing but a tool, and I destroyed my family. He raised his head and looked at his wife, then at his daughter, and said to himself, I'm sorry. Sorry for making you afraid of me. Sorry for wounding your hearts. Bulma, Bulla, you don't deserve a harsh, arrogant, weak man like me. I will do what must be done. Then suddenly, without warning, Vegeta launched forward at unimaginable speed, and everyone was shocked by his velocity. Where did he go? Another trembled and said, Don't tell me he's heading into the heart of the battle. Beside Goku? At that moment, one of the Supreme Kais quickly stepped forward and formed an energy sphere in which he captured Vegeta's energy to track his path. Vegeta knows that Queen's location exactly. Perhaps he's the only one among us who remembers where she is. He trained under her control before. The friends were confused. All of them were troubled by one question. What is Vegeta planning to do? During his journey, Vegeta muttered, Damn it, I've lost much of my power. She toyed with my mind, and with my level of strength, I'll need time to arrive. But all the pain, all the loss, I will bear its price myself. I'm coming. At that moment, Goku suddenly found himself in a strange place, different from anything he had ever known, as if time had stopped. In front of him, the Supreme Queen was waiting, relaxed, as she said, I admire your courage, Goku. You trust yourself this much in a place you don't even know? Goku paused for a moment, his eyes scanning every corner, then said, Courage without wisdom achieves nothing, and I'm here to prove that. The Supreme Queen replied, Oh, such great wisdom, Goku, but wisdom alone will not save you from what you are about to face. Suddenly, the Queen manifested her long, sharp claws and lunged forward at high speed, but Goku dodged the attack with a precise step, as if his body had learned to read his opponent's speed before it even reached him. He immediately seized the moment and delivered a powerful kick to her abdomen, surpassing the speed of her defense. The impact was strong, yet a smile reappeared on her face, and she said, That's what I want. Show me everything you've got, Goku. I want more. Whatever you're doing now, I want it doubled. Goku thought to himself, I must take advantage of this opportunity. The Dragon Ball's power inside me isn't complete. Every movement, every strike must be calculated. Then Goku launched forward, and the direct clash with the Queen began. A tremendous struggle of power, speed, and skill. Every movement from either of them shook the entire place. On the other side, the Supreme Kais had completed the purification of the Super Dragon Balls. The friends stood in awe, their eyes following every movement through the energy sphere, all of them focused on Vegeta's actions. Except Whis. He stood apart from the others, silent, gazing deeply toward the horizon. Then he spoke in a low voice. I will not remain idle. I will intervene as well. One of the Supreme Kais turned to him in shock. What do you mean, Whis? You are the only one among your siblings who remained unharmed. You would be putting your very soul at risk? Whis replied, I will not intervene alone. I have thought about it many times, but the decision must be made now. Fusion with Beerus. It must happen. Even if the consequences are extremely dangerous, even if it is forbidden. My mother is hiding much. Beerus was stunned. Fusion? Do you fully realize what you are saying? That is the greatest crime we could commit. But Whis answered, Remember the balance. For everyone, that is what matters most now. Silence fell. Whis looked at the Supreme Kai, who understood what he had to do. In the other dimension, Goku began to scream, pulled inward by rage, power, and awe all at once. Suddenly, the dragon Shenron appeared once again, but this time in a radiant white light. Goku's voice rose. This will be your end. I'll bring out everything. At that very moment, the Supreme Queen began charging her ultimate energy, and then both of them unleashed their attacks. Goku released a white beam of pure light, concentrated into a punch that gathered the power of the Dragon Balls. What followed was a massive explosion that swallowed everything. The sacred palace shook violently, its barriers that surrounded the dimension completely shattered, and everything collapsed. As the light faded and the dust and debris cleared, the Supreme Queen fell to the ground, clear devastation etched across her features. Goku remained standing, but he knew the battle was not over yet. He now needed the final touch.
Goku whispered in a faint voice, "This is the end. There will be no trace of you left after today." He raised his hand. The Supreme Queen was collapsed on the ground, her breaths broken and uneven. But something stopped him. It was not energy. It was not an obvious trick. It was a tear. Eyes that moments ago had been filled with arrogance were now trembling with something else, something he had not expected. Her voice came out broken. "Goku, do you think I was born this way? That I wanted this destruction?" He remained silent, watching. She continued, her voice choked with pain. "I had children, a world, a family. I only wanted peace for them. Everything I did, all the wars, all the cruelty, was to create a future no one could threaten. But they fell, one after another, and I kept fighting for the sake of a memory that no longer exists." She raised her eyes to him, a gaze that held no threat. "You fight for those you love, don't you? Would you have stopped if you had to choose between your morals and your family's lives? Tell me, Goku, would you have remained a hero, or would you have become like me?" Goku lowered his energy slightly without realizing it. He said, "I understand pain, but pain does not justify crushing the innocent, especially Zama." She closed her eyes and said, "I am ready to sacrifice myself for Zalama's spirit, if that will guarantee my children's safety." Goku's eyes widened for a moment. That had been his goal from the beginning. She whispered, "I no longer want control. Take the victory. Take what you came for. Just end this without more blood." A heavy silence filled the place. Goku turned slightly and said in a deep voice, "If you are sincere, stay away from my family, from my world, and never approach the Dragon Balls again. I will leave now, but if you deceive me..." He did not finish. In a swift instant, her hand rose. A thin thread of energy shot out and wrapped around Goku's heart. His body froze suddenly. His eyes widened. He felt as if something was piercing deep within him, gripping his very heartbeat. The Queen slowly stood up. The collapse vanished from her face. The tears dried. "You have fallen, Goku." Every word, every tear was another thread wrapping around you. You are strong, yes, but your emotion is your weakness. His body trembled as she violently tightened her grip around his heart. Goku screamed without stopping until he lost his transformation. He shouted with a voice that tore through the air.
"Curse you, you cunning witch! I swear, this will only multiply your suffering!"
The Queen smiled. "And do you think you'll have the chance for that?" She charged energy into her fist, then said, "Your end has come." At the moment she released the attack, light exploded throughout the entire place. Suddenly, Goku found himself away from the target. His body was exhausted, but what he saw was shocking. Vegeta had intervened for him. His body took the impact in his place, standing as a living shield between him and the Queen's energy. Vegeta collapsed, powerless. The impact had been devastating.
Goku, in shock, said, "Vegeta, what did you do? Why did you intervene?" Vegeta, in pain, replied in a weak voice, "Kakarot, I'm doing this in the only way I can find peace. This wretch controlled your emotions just as she controlled my mind. I cannot forgive myself when I remember that I ruined everything. You are the only one who holds the key to the power of the Super Dragon Balls. Use my spirit and restore Zalama's spirit." Goku stepped closer to Vegeta. In a hesitant, trembling voice, he said, "No, I won't do that. Your life is more important. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hesitated to kill you when you were threatening everyone." Vegeta replied, "Don't make me suffer more, Kakarot. The pain of living while remembering what I did to Trunks is far worse, Kakarot. The Dragon Balls have now been purified. If a spirit must be offered to restore another spirit, then use mine, Kakarot. I am no longer of any use now. Take my life and restore Zalama now." Goku closed his eyes. He did not want this, but there was no other choice. He replied, "Losing your spirit, Vegeta, may result in your eternal end. But I will find a way, no matter what, even if I must sacrifice my own life to bring you back." Goku extended his hands toward Vegeta's body as he surrendered himself. In a moment, his body disappeared, leaving behind heavy silence and sorrow. Goku's tears fell without stopping, his heart burdened with emotion and grief, yet he knew the sacrifice was necessary and that his path of vengeance had begun. The Supreme Queen stood, having seen everything, but the expression of determination still remained on her face. "It seems our journey is not over yet. I hope you are more prepared now. Let us see how you will complete this play." At that same moment, light began gathering in the area, and a radiant aura arose. Suddenly, a sacred and regal being appeared, surrounded by a magnificent white and golden aura of energy. The voice rose, deep and clear. "I am the one who will put an end to this farce. I will not allow this destruction to continue any longer, merciless one." The friends' tears had not yet dried from witnessing Vegeta's sacrifice, and as everyone watched, something unexpected happened. Suddenly, Zalama appeared, powerful and majestic. After Vegeta offered his spirit, the Kaioshin used sacred energy to restore Zalama according to the laws of the Dragon Balls, which had now returned to their original state. Zalama stepped forward before everyone, who were astonished by his form and the power emanating from him. His voice reached all those around him. "I have returned. Nothing will be lost. Nothing will go in vain."